Hi, welcome to Living in the Light, and I'm Mary Amy. And I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to your truest potential, and cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart that you were born with. How is everyone on this Thursday evening in the Matrix work week? What's going on? It's December 8th, 2022, and there's so much light coming onto the earth. So we're all becoming more awakened every single minute on this globe. Are you living in the moment right now? Have you tuned into your heart today? Did you wake up this morning and in front of you, you saw all your thoughts? If you imagined in front of you a sentence of each of your thoughts and you could look at them on a piece of paper, it matters. It matters because cause and effect. And we can create whatever outcome we want through our thoughts. They have a vibration. They have emotions and feelings attached, and your thoughts are very powerful. I know that I've been changing up my schedule, and I don't know if everyone's getting notified. I heard yesterday you weren't notified. Hey, Elsa's back there, and she's scrambling around. How are you doing down there, Elsa? She's such a cutie booty, Elsa. Are you digging, Elsa? Anyway, here I am. And also, I wanted to remind you to write down your dreams when you wake up and, take note of them because it's your subconscious sending you messages. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. Today, we're going to cover topics like the Montauk Project. What exactly is the Montauk Project? Oppose Big Pharma and accepting our psychic gift. Of course, I'll touch on psychic phenomenon and angels. I know that we all have had a really tough time here on planet Earth, New Earth, Gaia, we can call it now. We were incarnated here, and it was all about competition and commercialism and consumerism and how much possessions you have and what job you have and what do you look like. We're going to not put so much emphasis on that anymore, are we? Because when we're headed to this new earth, the fifth dimension where we expand our awareness and we have a higher consciousness, it's more about what's going on inside of you rather than what's going on out here in the physical world. Now, we are creating this new physical reality. And I always say I'm a rebel, not the rebel that creates havoc out there, the rebel that believes there's another reality. And are you believing there's another reality out there outside the matrix? I do. So today our topics, like I said, are the Montauk Project, opposed to Big Pharma, and accepting our psychic gifts. So what is the Montauk Project? And I usually bring up topics that I actually have to learn about. And then I have a little bit more excitement about it, or it's something that I truly sense that is important for us to be discussing or have awareness about because it's going on out in our physical reality. And so the Montauk Project, here's a little map I'm sharing with you. It's supposedly tapped into the consciousness the control mind of children. So it was a series of government projects in the United States conducted at Camp Hero. And this is Camp Hero, and it's located in Montauk, New York. And it was known as the Montauk Air Force Station in Montauk. And if you've ever seen that Netflix show Stranger Things, apparently it's based on the Montauk Project. They took some of the ideas and the concepts from that and they made a television series. And so the Montauk Project was for the purpose of developing psychological warfare. Now, why am I bringing this up here? I'm all about living in the light, aren't I? However, I do cover psychic phenomenon. And I'm just sharing with you that there has been government experiments and research done in that area because the government knew that it was possible. They knew that telepathy was possible. They knew that we were capable of doing all kinds of telekinesis, teleportation. And so they had these experiments, and they were pretty much, I would consider, illegal and inappropriate. And what they did was they developed psychological warfare at this location in Montauk, which were techniques and exotic research, including time travel, teleportation, and telekinesis. And from that, there was a series of books written, and it was by Preston Nichols, and it was called the Montauk Project. And this was in the and then in the 1980s, UFO researcher Jacques Vallée gave the account of the Preston Nichols and Al Bilmanek recovered repressed memories, and he claimed that they were periodically abducted to participate against his will, and he was born on May 24th, 1946. So Preston Nichols wrote this series of books. I'm very interested in that. In fact, I would like to actually get those books. I probably will. I'm a little bit concerned that it might be disturbing, but I guess I'm going to tune into that and find out a little bit more because I'm always going down the rabbit hole. I like to see everything. I like to have all the boundaries right in front of me. So this was one of the towers that was at Camp Hero. And this was one of 12 or 13 towers just like this they had during World War II. And it was to alert us, and it gave us 30 minutes alert if the Soviets were coming, if there was some kind of alert that we needed to have. And this was actually at Camp Hero. And so I quote, "The US government military experiments in fields of time travel, teleportation, mind control, and contact with extraterrestrial life were happening at the Montauk Project. And they staged also the fake Apollo moon landings." Now, who knew that? Who knew all about that? I didn't realize that. Anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And they did research into the paranormal, and it was the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, committed these experiments. And they abducted orphans and runaways, and they subjected them to physical and psychological torture. Not so nice, is it? Anyone who's joining us, why don't you write in the chat? And so Nichols, this man who wrote the book, these series of books, Preston Nichols, he shared that all the experiments in mind control and telepathy and the opening of space-time portals to other dimensions. Interesting, isn't it? So the U.S. military program financed by Nazi gold recovered during World War II. And this Camp Hero was located on 755 acres. Now, 415 acres were part of the military base. So it's forest, wetlands, and views of the Atlantic Ocean. Now, in the 70s and the 90s, Nichols, the leader of the psychotronics movement, claims the government agents used electromagnetic radiation to transmit ideas directly into people's heads. And they also designed a way to control the weather. Now, isn't this interesting? Because right now we're also concerned about, what kind of abilities that the government has, these secret space programs and these secret black projects, about what they can do. What kind of power do they have to transmit ideas to us? And I've shared with you that you can do some psychic exercises, and you can wake someone up and you can tell them to go eat some food, and you can send this to them mind to mind. And I believe this is possible. So in 1953, the CIA began its 20-year MK Ultra program. Have you heard about that? Where they're testing drugs developed for interrogation and mind control. And the purposes they did this were they used this on prisoners, they used this on students and hospital patients. I don't really sense that our government is a victim of this. I sense that they were actually in control of this. And I believe that they did this to have power over us, to have control. And so this radio tower that I've been holding up, this radio tower is 90 feet tall, made of concrete, and it was giving a 30-minute warning of any incoming Soviet attacks. So every 20 seconds, the radar tower would rotate, and if there was any animals around, they would freak out, and it would give people headaches and bad dreams. So I wonder what kind of sound operation that they were transmitting. I know that Nikola Tesla came up with the teleforce weapon, which was the death beam ray, and we've also known of the government having these very large instruments, I should say, and they can send out sound waves, and it can upset your nervous system to control crowds. I wonder if this is related to that. And so there was 12 of these towers around the country. Now, these secret laboratories at Camp Hero, with children taken from the streets, kept below ground, programmed to be super soldiers. They were known as the Montauk Boys. And these kids hooked up to wires in underground labs. And you can imagine that this is why Stranger Things, that TV series, had utilized these ideas, because maybe they just very well existed out there, in Montauk. So it's very disturbing, I know. But what I do is I am considered a truth seeker, conspiracy theorist, and I share information. I bring awareness. And that's what I'm doing at this very moment. I'm bringing awareness because we should know about this. And, I also share a lot of healing suggestions. I say, imagine a circle, imagine an invisible line surrounding your body, 12 inches from your body, and no one is given permission to come within your space, mentally, physically, emotionally, or spiritually, unless you give permission. And I also share about tuning into your heart and having love, self-love and unconditional love for yourself and others. And do you see how I'm trying to balance this very sad story that I just shared with you with some positivity? And I also recommend that if you're feeling down, to have some affirmation words and also some mantras. So let's go through that for a minute. Some affirmation words might be, if you're feeling down, come up with some of your own, but I say light and love, because as we sprinkle these words around ourselves and we are thinking them and then we're saying them, we're bringing more hope into our life. We're bringing more positivity, with whether we realize it or not. And maybe it's nature. I know it's dark right now, but during the daytime, you can think of nature. You can say water. You can say light. And if you want to create your own mantras, it might be, I am strong, I am brave, I'm courageous, I'm patient, I'm powerful. And that might give you some personal power. And we have been coming up against a spiritual war lately. I mean, it's been brewing and now it's risen up because there's these agendas, and we're going to get into oppose big pharma in a second. And these agendas have decided, the leaders across the globe have all come together, and they have decided that they are going to take us into a one world government. And they want us to basically become complete conformists. And they want to tell us how to live and who to be. and what to do, and we're not really allowed to express our opinions or beliefs. And so I'm here to remind you that you have what's called free thought, you're a sovereign being of light, you're a beautiful being of light, you're sacred, you're highly advanced, you have so many gifts that you haven't even tapped into yet. And we're going to speak of accepting your psychic gifts. And it's all really about tuning in, and it's about allowing yourself to just be whoever you are, regardless if everyone likes you, regardless if it's following the same path as someone else. It's more about just having personal happiness and serenity, and realizing that there's no one else like you here on this globe, and you should accept it. You are a worthy being of light as is. You are lovable as is. You must cherish yourself. And let's have excitement and gratitude in this very moment for this moment. And let's say, hey, what are my 5 humongous goals? What is it that I want to accomplish or do or be in my lifetime? What is it that will bring excitement to me? What resonates with me? Discover those 5 humongous goals. And whatever your destiny is, you must go to your destiny. Imagine it right in front of you. What is your destiny? We want to let go of any attachments. We don't want to carry around all of this programming that we've had. And what are your thoughts and what are someone else's thoughts? That's why I say it's crucial for us to tune into our senses, because our senses are what is in our mind, body, spirit. And maybe information will come from an outside source, and you will have an impression and it will guide you. You've had the answers inside you since you were born. You came onto this new earth, Gaia, and as a child, you're like, oh, everything's so beautiful. And then that was taken away. You really weren't allowed to express how you felt. It was more like you had to follow what everyone else was doing. But now you have a chance to be whoever you would like to be, because we are creating a new reality. We are creating a new civilization. And your thoughts are powerful, and you can create the civilization. So we have a light being, another light being, and all across the globe, we're going to bring light. And so the darkness is really not here much anymore. You know, what's left of the darkness? Not much. A lot of it's failing. It's failing. It's just going to just diminish. And it's going to be up to us. I mean, if you woke up tomorrow morning and I said, hey, you have the house you want, you have the car you want, you have anything that you need, what would you do? What would you spend your time doing? Of course, we would like to have some fun. I mean, we weren't born to just be so serious and do all these things and task, and rush, and then do that for 40 or 50 years and then retire and pass away. And maybe you take one little vacation a year someplace. That's not enough for someone to have a great life. We all want to have great lives. And it shouldn't just be about those who are the wealthiest and they get to have all the fun. Everyone. We put so much emphasis on currency and wealth and money and riches and stuff. You know, I have the most, I have the greatest, I am superior. No, absolutely not. We're all equal. We are all beings of light. No one is better than anyone else. Are they? It shouldn't matter what your status is. That's silliness. So let's move on to opposing Big Pharma. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So Big Pharma, we've heard this term quite a bit in the last 3 years, Big Pharma. So let's oppose Big Pharma. That's my suggestion, because to me, I think they have enough of this. They have enough money right now. They don't really need any more. And I don't think they're doing us any favors. They're like one big narcissist. That's what they are. So let's put an end to the medical system. And I'm going to disapprove, I'm going to disagree with all major pharmaceutical companies. I'm just going to disagree. And they're the most profitable businesses probably on the globe right now. The global pharmaceutical industry is worth $560 billion. $560 billion. I don't know. I haven't landed in my billions yet, but they have 560 billion. How did they get all that? Hey, Joe Hollywood. I watched the newest James Bond film, and it mainly involved this controlled nanotech virus. Ooh, I have to see that. I don't think I've seen that one. When was that released, Joe Hollywood? Joe Hollywood. Joe Hollywood. Let me see. Don't tell me where you're coming from. You know I like to look it up on my little cheat sheet here. Where are you? Where are you? Why can't I find you? Oh, here it is. Boulder, Colorado. Boulder, Colorado. So the global pharmaceutical industry that's worth 560 billion. I feel as though I'm speaking of when Queen Elizabeth, what she was worth. I forget. I remember back then. What was it? I forget. I'm not going to say the wrong number, but she was worth quite a bit. So the six largest drug makers, can you name them? Ding, 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 ding. What are they? Ding, 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 ding. Do you know what the six largest drug makers? I think I added some to this list. Johnson & Johnson, Nova, Pfizer, Rock, AbbVie, Novartis, Merck and Company, Nordics, and Eli Lilly. So they have all the moolah. And Johnson & Johnson alone is worth $93.77 billion. Johnson & Johnson. I think they had that baby powder issue. And not to say that some of these companies haven't been sued for the opioids crisis, prescription painkillers, opioids, and they've had some lawsuits, haven't they? Hey, BlackRock runs all of them, really? Now, who is the CEO of BlackRock? We should mention his name. So the pharmaceutical industry is corrupt, and I'll share with you why, and I'll share with you how this happened. So there's medical science, and through its funding of medical training, there's what's called ghost management. Have you ever heard that terminology? Ghost management. I found out about it today because I traveled down the rabbit hole, and here I am opposing Big Pharma tonight. And so ghost management is the process by which industry representatives craft and publish research and names of doctors and psychiatrists. And it's when a knowledge system loses integrity. Hey, Angie, I've never heard of ghost management. Thank you. So ghost management, let me share with you. So ghost management is where the corruption occurs. So the knowledge system loses integrity and it ceases to provide trusted knowledge. The corruption comes because of the involvement of the pharmaceutical companies, and they corrupt the medical science. Do you see? So the pharmaceutical companies must buy out the medical science because they need to do that research. And so ghost management takes away the legitimacy of medical science. So that's what's been happening. Hey, Alexandra Morel, hello. So we have New York, we have Boulder, Colorado, we have Georgia. Yes, and that's what's going on with Big Pharma. So Big Pharma, which is a $560 billion industry. And I'm saying let's oppose Big Pharma because, you know what? I feel as though they're shoving their poop down our throats, and I don't like to be told what to do, as you probably can guess. No one tells me what to do. And this apparently, because of the pharmaceutical industry has so much money, they control the medical science, which is the doctor stating the research that it's good for you. So that's where it becomes corrupt. And you know what? They already have enough money. Johnson & Johnson has $93.77 billion, and Pfizer's worth, guess how much Pfizer's worth? $284.76 billion. That's a lot. $284.76 billion. And I sense that is really, I don't know. I don't think that any company should be worth that much, because it's probably going to end badly, right? Anyone who has, oh, hey, music. Hello, music. Music is coming from Canada. Hi, hello. I hope everyone likes the video and subscribes to the channel. You know, I covered already the Montauk Project, the U.S. military program financed by Nazi gold recovered during World War II. And it was 415 acres of a military base. And they experimented and they learned all about mind control and extraterrestrial life and the fake Apollo moon landings. They created that, staging it, and time travel and teleportation. And so I would have to say, hey, who's Mad Marsh? That's a new one. Hey, Mad Marsh, where are you coming from? I'm Mary, and I'm from New York. We have a new person here, a new being of light. Hey, Mad Marsh. I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to your truth potential, and cracking open the beautiful glowing light in your heart. Where are you from? We have music is from Canada. We have Alexandra from New York. We have Angie from Georgia. She's a Georgia peach. Oh, you're from Canada as well. Hey, Mad March. That's exciting. We have somebody new. Well, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm considered a conspiracy theorist. I'm really a truth seeker. So but you know what? It's funny because I think that in time, I'm probably going to be considered more the norm. Canada. Alexandra says, I need more of your dream books for Christmas. Oh, Alexandra, I was going to bring in. So Alexandra, speaking of my dream journal that you can buy, she's pitching me on Amazon, and you can write down descriptions and entries. And I'm going to get into dreams in a little bit, but you can get it on Amazon. And it's called My Dream Journal, a personal diary of messages, signs, and symbols to guide me, by Mary Amy. It's one of the 3 books that I've written. You love it? Oh, thanks. Let's get on to psychic gifts. So, are you accepting your psychic gifts? Have you accepted your psychic gifts? Oh, let me just remind you about angels before we get on to our psychic gifts. Angels are beings of light. They come from the heavens to protect humanity. They are celestial, they're benevolent, and you can ask for angels to come into your existence. They can surround you. You probably have 2 guardian angels that have been with you since birth. And they're messengers. And they are guides, and they're warriors. And there's 9 ranks of angels. And they come from the heavens to earth to protect humanity. And they've been in the middle of a spiritual war. Yes, they have. They've been in the middle of a spiritual war. And we have as well. There are so many frequencies that are surrounding us right now. And I can't just say it's the cell towers or the satellites or the Wi-Fi or the computers. By the way, I just want to remind you, and I've been saying this, that if you be wary of anything that carries a frequency, our phones, your router, and I done some research on your router, and make sure that your router, hey, Tommy, I want lots of toys for Christmas. What kind of toys do you want, Tommy? What kind of toys would you like? I can only imagine. So be careful how close the router is to where you are sleeping. They say, I believe it's 30 feet from your bed. And if it's not, it should really be that far from your bed, because it is sending off frequencies and electromagnetic radiation. Stay focused. Yes, I am staying focused. Ta-ding! Back to accepting your psychic gifts. Now, your psychic gifts are an innate ability to process sensory data. And we all have these abilities within us. And I share with you all your clairsenses. Have you been practicing your clairsenses? Oh, look what I have here. I have some crystal quartz gemstones, and I'm putting them on my third eye. So I activate my third eye. Well, it's already activated. Maybe you could put some tumbled gemstones or some crystals right here between your two eyebrows, and that will activate your third eye. Or you can put some amethysts, right? And you can activate your third eye. And that's how you can become clairvoyant, or you can connect to your intuition. So you must give consent. If you're interested in connecting with all of your abilities, your clairsenses, your psychic phenomenon, then I suggest basically you accept it. You say, okay, I'm willing to accept it. And you also have some kind of confidence. You have some kind of self-confidence that it's possible. If you take away all the doubt and you say, well, all right, I'm going to try this. And hopefully, those out there that are practical and they say that I have critical reasoning, they might be the type that not necessarily is going to be so open to this, but we might be able to convince them. We might be able to say, hey, why don't you try this? You have an ability. So let's give consent to receive our gifts. Become patient, become an observer, practice, have self-love. And so you can tap into your psychic abilities, which is seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, knowing, beyond the physical world. Beyond the physical world, we don't necessarily with our eyes see everything that's going on. We might sense it. Have you ever been in a situation and you just receive information like almost don't go over there, or some kind of warning that you get internally? That's an impression that you're receiving from an outside source. And it might be just that your intuition is connecting with other energies out in the physical reality. So be aware of this. Hey, Raymond, thanks for joining us. So Raymond's coming from Thailand. Wow, everyone's showing up this evening. Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome to Living in the Light. And I'm Mary Amy. And we are able to alter our perceptions and our awareness. And we're going to get into some exercises in a few moments. And so let's operate on a deep level of emotional and physical and spirituality. And let's operate that way. And let's accept all those aspects of ourselves. We have this within us. We have these keen abilities that we are going to learn to master, and you will master at least one. You have this ability within you. And I'm saying, listen, hey, he's putting Christmas emojis. Elsa, look, there's Christmas emojis. I have a little tree. Did everyone get a little tree? I got a little tree. Today actually is I think it's it's a religious holiday today. It's I'll tell you right now. Today is I think it's the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. This is the day that the Virgin Mary, right? I believe that's what it is today. The Feast of the Immaculate Conception is today. Yes. And so I'm just going to show this. There's the Virgin Mary with baby Jesus. And these are, I think, the Mary and Joseph. Right? No, these are not Mary and Joseph. These might be the kings. That's Mary. So that's baby Jesus. I don't know who this is, but anyway, I'm just sharing. And so we are altering our perceptions and our awareness, and we're operating on a deep emotional, physical, spiritual level. And so we naturally have certain aspects of we realize that we actually naturally tune into certain aspects of situations. And I'll share with you. For example, when you go into a situation, now this is before you tune into your psychic phenomenon, You naturally tune in. And if I was to ask you and two other people when you entered the same situation, each of you is going to notice something completely different naturally. For example, let's say you walk into a situation. It could be you walk into a restaurant and you walk up to the restaurant to the person who is the maitre d', that they are the host. You might notice something about the host or something physically in the restaurant or sounds. Someone else might come in and they might notice, oh, restaurant is very loud. Everyone's going to have a different interpretation. And so whatever naturally you tune into is going to be related to whatever your natural intuitive ability is. Now, maybe you're someone like I am. I tune into people's hearts. So I naturally tune in and I figure out exactly their mood, their feelings, their energy that surrounds them. And that's what naturally comes to me. You might walk into a situation and you might be very audio. So you might hear everything that's going on. You might be somebody that sees everything on the outside. What is it visually? So we all have a natural ability. Do you see sounds? Do you hear words? Or do you hear sounds? Do you hear words? Do you see a visual? Smells. Do you have knowledge without even tuning in? Did you receive information, impressions like we've spoken of? They could be tones. There could be a mental picture. They could be, you hear something about someone's personality without even tuning in. We all are going to be going as we ascend to a higher consciousness and we're headed to the light. All of this is going to frequent your life even more and more, and it's going to be much easier. Right now, because we've been in this dense reality, and it's been very negative and a lot of low vibrational emotions like anger, fear, sadness, pain. And because of that, you smell. Really? Thanks for sharing that, Angie. And that's maybe why you are so tuned into cooking. Huh. Well, so as we ascend, it's going to be more common. What I'm saying to you right now is very primitive compared to the abilities that you will acquire. I guess within sometime in sometime in 2023, you will take on a different form. You will physically appear differently. You will have more light surrounding you. You will be able to do what I'm saying without even any difficulty. Everything that I'm talking about and what I'm referring to as your psychic abilities, your psychic gifts are going to be just naturally. Everything's going to come forward with you. You just haven't had this because you've been compressed and the energies on the earth have kept us basically in a place of slavery, control. We haven't been able to be who we really are. We've been like put in a box. I've said in the past, when you're a kid, did you ever have one of those little animals, little critters? I had gerbils. Did you ever have a little mouse, pet mouse, or a gerbil? When I walked out of the grocery store today, I was so curious of why I was smelling a baby powder scent the whole time I walked through the parking lot to my car. Well, maybe you have received a memory. Maybe that was from someone else. Because as I am practicing my clear senses more and more, I'm having the same thing happen, Angie. I'm smelling things, I'm tasting things, I'm having a memory come forward. If someone's in close proximity to me, I'm receiving their information without even trying. It will drive some crazy to get psychic gifts if they are unaware. Well, I believe, I've been watching some other YouTubers. I have my favorites, and Angie and I have spoken about that. And, I kind of grab information, whatever resonates with me from different ones. And I know that this solar flash is going to occur. The event, they call it the solar flash. It's a divine event like the flood was for Noah. And this divine event is going to occur, and then every single being is going to be awakened. And then there's going to be those that cannot awaken because they're artificial. They might be a clone, or they might be extraterrestrial. Obviously, they already are aware of things that we're not. And then there's going to be the evil that is not going to awaken because they don't have that within them. I do believe that we will be seeing angels, ascended masters, and we are going to be capable of so much more. And those who are awakening, who have been fighting it, everyone's had the message come before them. Every single person on the globe has received the message to wake up. Everyone. And it's just entirely up to them, isn't it? Whether or not they do. And when they do awaken, if they haven't progressed or transformed and evolved like we are right here in this community, it is going to make them crazy. I agree with you, music. It's going to make them crazy because it's so much information at one time. It's almost like they probably will have to just go hide out in their room in their bedroom for at least a few months, maybe 2 months, to try to wrap their brain around it. Because I'm I'm not afraid. I'm excited. I'm welcoming Big Sean. Yes, me too. And I was somebody who couldn't look. I have to share with you. I couldn't look because anything that harmed children, this whole human trafficking, and all of this against people's will. And then when I heard about the tunnels, the DUMBs, and when I just heard about all of these leaders doing these evil things, and I was studying to be an actress for many years, and I realized the entertainment field, I literally dodged a bullet by getting out of that, and I chose another alternative than that, and I'm really grateful for that. Music says, makes me think of the massive asylums they used to fill with people back in the 1800s. Well, you know what I'm wondering is, what was that all about? Why were there so many crazy people back then? Why were there so many people in these asylums? I wonder about that. Were they doing experiments on them? Were they giving them medication? I mean, what was that? Really? We don't really know the truth about that. And then there was all these orphans. Why were all these orphanages all across the country? I know that I read about Tartaria and how they exterminated all the adults, and then they put all the children on trains, and then brought them all to across the continent. I don't know. Yes, music, exactly. All of us can hear and see and feel. We are not crazy. Yes. And, we are capable of this. So as we tune in, we've suppressed a lot of these abilities. I haven't, because I didn't care what people thought for the most part when it came to me. I didn't, but I did have issues for a long time with, I felt like an outcast. And I felt like I didn't belong because I didn't belong, and I didn't want to go along with what everyone else said. But now I'm in a much better place. So we have suppressed until now. So let's begin to scan our locations wherever we go in the future. So when you go into a location, let's scan for sights, smell, what you see, what you smell, what you hear, all the energies. So you become more fluid with this, where you tune into this more and more, instead of just maybe the 5 minutes we do it here. Do it on your own, because the more you tune in, the more that will come towards you. Like I say, the more you accept. So the more that this is allowed, you allow this, then the more you will receive and more information. And eventually you'll have memories, you'll know future events that aren't yours, and you can manifest through your senses. You can create outcomes. You will have the ability to create outcomes, like I said, through cause and effect. Cause and effect. Because every single thought that you have carries this vibration, carries this emotion, carries this feeling. So if you put out there and you control your thoughts, For example, maybe there's something that you really want to accomplish, and you want to say it very clearly in your mind in a statement, and say it over and over again, and imagine light around it and be positive. If something brings you joy when you think about it, then you can manifest it. If you feel an uh-oh feeling, like when I say the 3 steps to manifesting: 1, write it down on a piece of paper. Get a piece of paper, write down whatever it is. Now, if it's a relationship, it can't be a certain person. You can't manifest a certain person in your life. You can manifest a certain type of relationship. Maybe it's affectionate, maybe it's trustworthy. Maybe you can visualize without a face someone just being very kind to you, gesturing you. So, for example, 1, write down whatever it is that you want. Okay? Write down whatever it is. 2, you want to close your eyes and you want to visualize it. You want to imagine whatever it is that you want, and it must bring you joy. You must feel joy when you think about it. And you want to visualize it. What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does it look like? What does it sound like? You want to visualize all the characteristics of whatever it is you want to manifest. And then 3, you want to talk about whatever it is you want to manifest like you already have it. Like I've always spoken about this shiny yellow car. So first I write it down on a piece of paper. I want a shiny yellow car, convertible. I already know what it is. 2 seats in the front and 1 little spot in the back to put some packages. And then I visualize it. I see the shiny yellow car. What does it smell like? What does it look like? What does it feel like touching the leather? And if it brings me joy, I can have it. And then I talk about it. My shiny yellow car's in the driveway. I love driving it down the highway. I take the top down in the summertime, in the spring, and even in the fall. And that's how I'm going to manifest the shiny yellow car. And you too can manifest. So let's become more aware of our sensations, how we feel, how we think, what's important to us. What are our senses telling us? We have so much more information that we're not even tapping into. You have this. You just have to give your consent. You have an innate ability to process sensory data. You naturally can tune into many things in many situations. There's so many aspects to one situation, and you have the ability to tune in. Yes, we said all of us. So we also are able to predict future events. I'm sure Angie can do that. Angie can predict future events. She seems to be able to manifest whatever she wants. Now, I'm also going to remind you, another way to accept your psychic gifts is through your dreams. And that's why one of the reasons why Alexandra mentioned dreams. So get a dream journal. It doesn't have to be this one. I'm not saying that. Just get a little composition book and write down your dreams when you wake up. And your dreams are sharing messages with you. Maybe there'll be signs. Maybe there'll be symbols. Maybe there'll be a location. You'll see someone in your life that you're reminded of. A memory might come forward. Maybe there'll be someone who's passed that wants to send you love. You might need closure in a relationship, and it comes through in your dreams. So your dreams are a series of thoughts, images, sensations occurring in a person's mind during sleep. So when you wake up, write them down. Everything, the people, the objects, the locations, your feelings, your emotions. And then how do the details make you feel is important. When you come out of a dream, most of the time we have a mood or we have a feeling that we have when we come out of it. Write it down, keep track of it. And why are you feeling that? I also would like to remind you 2 things. One is when you go to sleep, try to be in a place of love, because we all have this silver cord that's attached to our chakras, and it goes out into the astral world when we go to sleep, and we don't want to have any psychic attacks. Now, I know, Morningstar, you knew? I know that a lot of evil has left the earth. I know that. I sense that. I used to have this dark cloud. I could feel the dark cloud come through, and then I'd have to sage. And it was very apparent. And I know now that a lot of the evil has left because it can't stay here. The more that light comes onto the earth, especially with the event coming, the solar flash. Solar flash is coming. And as this solar flash comes, I don't feel new. I'm 42. You're funny, Morning Star. Morning Star, where are you coming from? Wow, we have Morning Star. We have someone else new here. We have Mad Marsh. Thanks, Mad Marsh. Okay, so Morning Star. Morning Star. So Morning Star, where are you coming from? I'm in New York. Fingers stretched back and spread apart will put the line of clairvoyance, spirit medium in the line of your palms. It starts or develops with you seeing random events before they occur. Very good. Thanks for sharing that, Morning Star. So let's get into doing, because we're about to hit the 1 hour mark and we always do psychic phenomenon. Morning. Why am I spelling this? Oh, it's morning. So Morning Star, it sounds like you've really tuned into your psychic abilities, and that's fantastic, because then you're one of us. We are awakened being of light. Where do I buy your book again? You can get my book on Amazon, not too far from your state, same time zone. So you in Connecticut? It doesn't matter. I'm just, whatever makes you happy to tell us. Now, you've mentioned again that we can crack open our third eye. So maybe you're going to crack open your third eye through deep meditation, deep breathing work. Maybe it's going to be because you are doing visualizations and you're channeling, different realms, and maybe it's going to come through a Kundalini awakening or a mystical experience. Maybe you're going to spend so much time in nature that you're going to awaken your third eye. And your third eye is going to take you to another realm. It's going to give you a knowing. It's going to open up your clear senses. And so I always say, maybe put a little gemstone there. Maybe visualize, imagine white light hitting between your two eyebrows. And so we all have the ability to have these clear senses. So let's go through some of them. Clairvoyance. I'm going to show you the chart, because then that way it's easier for you to say. So here, clairvoyance, clear vision, the ability to see people, objects, locations, events in the past or present. Okay, that's your third eye. Clairaudience. And that's through your hearing, clear hearing, the ability to hear things that others cannot hear. Now, this is all coming a knowing from another source we've shared. We must surrender to this ability so that we can master it. And as I've shared with you, that we all have at least one, I'm sure 3 within you that you are able to master. So let's go into this with taking away any doubt. We're surrendering to our senses. And there's also clear cognizance, where you have a clear knowing of something without reading or hearing about it. It's like you walk into a situation and you just know. You just know. And that's what Morning Star said. I experimented with the rope technique to astral travel. Things kind of went sideways because some of the lines needed to make it easier were missing from my palmistry. Well, we talked about reading our palms one day, and the lifeline and the love line. So claircognizance is clear tasting. You might taste something. I know Angie mentioned earlier that she smelled something, I want to say. I'm trying to remember what she said earlier. It's down here somewhere. Oh, she walked out of the grocery store and she was smelling baby powder. Yes. And it's funny that I mentioned the baby powder earlier. I spoke about opposing Big Pharma and the baby powder lawsuit. And then there's clear smelling, the ability to access knowledge through smell. Clairsustenance, clear feeling, the ability to psychically feel. Now, if you're empathic, you have this clear empathy. And one step further is clairsustenance, which is you really have figured out how to not get upset when you go into a group. It's more of you've mastered being empath. And I've shared with you initially, I didn't know from the time I was little that I'd walk into a space and I would take on and absorb everyone's emotions and feelings, regardless of where I was. And if you're someone who is empathic, if you're around someone who's lost and confused, it's basically going to attach itself to you, and you're going to absorb that, and then you're going to feel lost. So be aware of this. And then there's channeling and mediumship, which is you channel from an outside source. All of this is information you're receiving. Maybe it's thought transference. It's some kind of impression from another source, and you feel as though it's different than what you have within you. You sense that this is not your thought. That's not what I think. And you know, because it's not what you think. You know yourself well enough. For a long time, I guess it was over a year ago, I was getting messages sent to me, and they were dark, they were negative, and it was related, I think, to this Montauk Project. And I spoke about how they were having mind control, and they were doing experiments to create mind control. And they did this in Montauk Air Force Base, and it was for many years, and they would just do this, and this is what that show Stranger Things is based on. And then Preston Nichols wrote the book Montauk Project. So that's something to be investigating. My attempt was extremely successful, but scared the crap out of me. Once I developed the vertical lines up to the first finger, it seemed like I developed a spine. Wow, this is very interesting, Morningstar. You're developing your psychic abilities. Congratulations. You're ahead of the game. We're in the front of the line. We're in the front of the line because we are the first timeline arrivals on the fifth dimension, aren't we? Because we are coming from a place of love and light. What was the Montauk Project? The Montauk Project was supposedly, they tapped into the consciousness of mind control of children. And it was a series of experiments in the United States government conducted at Camp Hero in Montauk, New York. And it was developing psychological warfare techniques and exotic research, including time travel, telekinesis, teleportation. And it was done by the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. And they abducted orphans and runaways and subjected them to physical and psychological torture. It's a very unhappy story. And supposedly this happened. So let's get into practicing some psychic phenomenon, because we've hit the 1 hour. It's a few minutes shy of, but let's do it. Are you receiving thought impressions? Let's practice right now. I was born in Alaska, visited New Mexico, and Rome, New York. Wow, you're a traveler, aren't you? Okay, let me remind you before we do an exercise together that there's other exercises that you can practice on your own. You can tune into a stranger. You can go out into the public, into the physical reality, and you can tune in. Oh, an Air Force family. Interesting. You can tune into someone that you don't know, and you can just practice. Now, when I say you're tuning into someone, I'm not saying you look at, oh, they're wearing a pair of jeans, or they have a hat on, or they're wearing a coat, or they have brown eyes. You're tuning into, and you're going to receive information about them that is not something that you're visually seeing. So how are you going to tune into them? Well, for me, I tune into someone's heart. That's what came naturally to me. This is why we have to take away any doubt. We have to drop down into our senses, and we're going to walk through. We're going to do the little steps of how to get there. So if you go out into the public and you say, oh, I'd like to practice this, you just see what kind of information you receive from them that is not based on their physical. In other words, are you hearing something? And I'll tell you, and I'll walk through the steps. Are you hearing anything? Are you seeing anything in your third eye? Are you sensing something about them, feeling wise? Or do you just have a knowing? Do you know right off the bat their personality? Can you see something that has happened to them throughout their day? Or you're hearing some kind of information from an outside source, something will come to you. As soon as you kind of access this, as soon as you start to pay attention to this, more and more information will just drop down into your brain. You might receive an alert, a premonition, an advanced warning. So telepathy is mind to mind. So there's a sender and a receiver. Now, sometimes, in fact, most of the time, because most people aren't aware that they're doing this, they're telepathically sending information. It would be like, you know throughout your life that you've met people, and right off the bat, right in 1 second, you come in contact with them and you say, oh, that's my friend. You have an instant friend. And why is that? Because you've already connected your thoughts and you already understand each other. You have a knowing. And the same goes for those out there that you come into contact and you say, oh, I can't stand this person. Or this person's too difficult, because you're receiving their thoughts. There's something that's bothering you about them, something energetically, and you have this ability, telepathic abilities, lines to the pinky finger. The fingers just stretched back, develop those lines. Okay. All right. So we will be able to learn how to run into people that we would like to have in our lives. We will be able to become more aware of within us something that we would like and how to get to it. In other words, we're going to be able to manifest more of what we want. So let's do a Claire exercise right now. We do this every day, Monday through Friday. I'm here most of the time, 7 o'clock. Moving forward, it's going to be a lot of 7 o'clock. And you can always watch this if you're not able to make the 7 o'clock live. I'm always posting it. You're going to see it. And so let's let out a breath. And so we're going to relax our body. I always say it's like a rag doll. So you're going to drop down, you're going to let go of any tension in your body. You're going to try to naturally breathe. Have a natural breath. Breathe in, let out. If you have to speak it out, speak it out. Anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And so we're going to relax our body. And we're going to take away any thoughts that are intruding this exercise. You're going to send it away. We're going to have acceptance that we can do this. We're going to take away any doubt. So we're going to drop down. We're going to let go of any feelings, any tension in our body. We're going to take away any attachments. Let go of any attachments. So we're dropping down. And now we're going to drop down into our senses. We're going to surrender to our senses, and we're going to have concentration and focus, a willingness. All right, so now that we've relaxed, we're naturally breathing. I'd like you to tune into each of your senses and do a little check, like we always do. So you're going to tune in. What are you hearing? Now, everything's going to be right here in this physical reality that you're in this space, wherever that is. And then you're going to try to reach as far as you can with each of your sense. So, for example, when you tune into your hearing, we've dropped down, we've surrendered. We're taking away any thoughts. There's no thoughts. It's just what we're hearing. So what are you hearing in this physical reality that you're in? And then beyond this space. So right now, for me, I can hear some appliances in this physical reality. I can hear something on the road down the street. And then what I do is take away any thoughts. I go beyond the walls of the room as far as I can hear. And just the power of that suggestion, you might receive an impression. You might hear a sound. So be aware. So we're doing that. So we're going to start with our hearing. And then we're going to go to our third eye. If your third eye is open. Now, if your third eye is open and this doesn't come naturally, pick another sense. Maybe your smell. What are you smelling? Your taste. Your feeling in front of you. If you put out your hands, do you feel some kind of vibration? There's many frequencies traveling around us all the time. We just can't see it, but they're there. So are you feeling something on your hands? Thank you, Alexandra. And then you're feeling. So your touch, you're feeling. What are you feeling? If you tune into your heart, what are you feeling right now? So I'm just feeling indifferent. That's what I'm feeling right now. Okay, so now that we've done this, we're going to walk. Now that we've tapped into each of our senses, we've just allowed this to happen. I'm going to give you a suggestion like I always do. Okay, so we're going to walk through the steps and then we're going to go right. You're going to pick one of your senses. Whatever you sense comes naturally to you. If you feel, if it's sense of touch, if it's your hearing, if it's your third eye, if it's your smell, if it's a knowing that you just have a natural knowing. It's entirely up to you. This is very personal. Your clear senses are very personal. You have the abilities within you. You are a sacred being of light and you're highly advanced. All right, so here we go. We drop. We let go of any tension in our bodies. We let out a breath. We feel as though we're a rag doll. And now I'd like you to drop down into your senses, surrender to your senses, push away any thoughts, and pick one of them. I'm going to pick my sense of hearing. Okay, so I've chosen that. You choose whatever you would like. I've chosen my sense of hearing, and I'm going to make this suggestion. The suggestion is, you are going to, and it's what impressions you're going to receive. It is December 25th, and it's December 25th. I'm not telling you what time, and you are feeling joy in your heart, which means that you've dropped down in, you've chosen your sense. It's December 25th. Take away any thoughts, and you're feeling joy. So you are time traveling and you are creating joy on December 25th. You have joy that day. So I'm going to be quiet and you tune in and let's see what information you receive, what impressions. So for me, I say over and over December 25th, and then I say joy and see what impressions you receive. If you can predict what's going to happen. Okay, did you receive anything? I did. I received, so I saw where the joy is going to come. So in the past, when I've done this, sometimes my thoughts come down and they come down, my thoughts, and then they start to create a scenario. We want to push that back. And I did. I pushed that back. And for me, what I received was I saw myself with my family members and I heard my name called. And then I saw where I was and I felt the joy. So what we're trying to do with these is we're trying to tune in. We're trying to create a better reality. We're also trying to tune into our senses. It's supposed to give us focus and concentration. So let's rub our hands together and we're going to create our ball of light. And so we have our ball of light and we take it away from our body and we pull our hands apart. Love you too, Angie. And so hopefully you have some kind of vibration, and I hope everyone who likes the video and subscribes to the channel. Oh, great, a big fly came in here. Oh my gosh. It's a big fly. And so here I am, and I have this ball of light, and I'm bringing light onto the earth, light into this physical reality, and this takes concentration. It's a ball of energy. We are creating energy. We're bringing light and energy onto the earth. Okay, and usually what we do is we are then imagining we're somewhere with this ball of light. So let's do this. We're letting out a breath. We're relaxing our body as much as we can with this ball of light in our hands, right? And we are dropping down into our senses, and we're picking one of our senses. And I'm going to choose my third eye like I usually do. And I'm also going to use my sense of touch, which I'm using with my hands right now. I'm busy. And Elsa, stop. Shh, Elsa. And I'm imagining, I'm going to give this suggestion. So we have the ball of light, we've dropped down into our senses, and I'm tuning into my third eye. So I'm holding the ball of light, and now I'm going to give a suggestion. And so the suggestion is going to be tomorrow. That's all it's going to be. I'm going to give the suggestion of tomorrow, which is, and I'm holding the ball of light, and it's tomorrow. And where am I going to land? So tomorrow's December 9th. I'm in New York. So I've given the suggestion of tomorrow, December 9th. Okay, so I am at my job in the Matrix. I'm in the Matrix. I work in the Matrix. And I saw December 9th. I mean, this is just me. I don't know what you're going to receive, but I received that I was looking down at the calendar, December 9th. And then there was something I bent over because there was something on the ground that I was picking up, or I am picking up, and behind the desk at work. And let's see what else happens. So I've taken myself to tomorrow. Now I'm hearing a voice speaking to me, and I'm hearing questions. And it's actually not, I don't feel as though it's positive. I feel like it's something negative. And let's see if there's anything else I can hear or see. Again, I'm looking down at the ground. So there's something related to something being on the ground. There must be something on the ground because I keep looking down. Okay, I believe that it's a customer that's coming in and that's speaking to me. Okay, so it's not someone that I've seen before. It's someone new. They have dark hair, very thin. I keep seeing thin, thin, thin. So somebody with who's very thin, who has dark hair. It's a woman, and she's going to talk to me, and I must drop something, or there's something. I can't wait to see what happens. Anyway, so I'm putting my hands together, and so that's what happened. There we go. Here we are. And I'm so glad that everyone joined us. And I'll be back again tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Friday in the Matrix Work Week. And I hope everyone likes the video and subscribes to the channel. I'm Mary Amy. Today we covered the Montauk Project, oppose Big Pharma, and accepting our psychic gift. Let me remind you some other exercises you can do is you can practice with a friend. They can send you information and you receive it. You can sit down in front of them or do it long distance. And you sit down with a piece of paper and you see how much information you receive. You can also practice the ball of light on your own. You can also imagine yourself laying down on a bed or a couch or the floor, and you take away any tension in your arms and your legs. Like I say, rag dolls. and then focus all of your energy, all your attention on your torso. So you imagine all your energy on your torso, and then look up and imagine that there is a movie screen in front of you, a white movie screen, and look right at the movie screen. And what comes through on the movie screen? What do you see visually? Is it some kind of event that you're predicting? Is it remote viewing? Is it a story? Is it a number? Is it a name? Is it a location? There's a lot of things that we can do to advance our psychic phenomenon. So I'll be back again tomorrow, and I'm sending everyone love and light, and I'm spinning light, and you're in the middle of it, and you're making a wish. Okay? Here we are. You're in the middle of it. We are quantum leaping to our destiny. Okay, everyone. Everyone have a wonderful night. I'm sending you light and love. Bye, music. Bye, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Okay, bye.